Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to another Practice Growth Strategy. Two things. One is I want to talk to you about hair loss with COVID. Happened right here. I got it. This is my new hair. I'm going to give you some facts here in a second. The second thing, sorry about my voice. I picked up something from my grandkids a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still getting my voice back, but I feel fine. But anyway, I want to talk to you about hair loss and COVID. So obviously, this is not my normal hair, although this is my real hair. So I have been wearing a wig for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 months. I think 5 months. I've been wearing a wig. Yes, I have. And I did that because literally I lost 80% of my hair during COVID. Now it's growing back. It's shorter, which is fine with me, but it's curly and coarse. It feels like chemo hair and a Brillo pad. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how you can work with your female patients on dealing with COVID. So it's 40%, over 40% more likely to happen in women over men. 6% of men, 40% of hair loss happens in women. It's called telogen effluvium. And all that means is that it's a rapid acceleration into the resting phase of the hair cycle called the telogen phase. And that resting phase, the hair follicles, after a few months, they get put there, they stay there, and then they fall out. It's normal that about 10 to 15% of your hair is in the resting phase at any particular point in time. But when there's an acute stressor, an infection, like a surgery, something like that, and certainly COVID would be a significant infection. And I had a whopper of a case. Let me tell you, I was on oxygen. I was really, really, really sick. And so not surprising. So I'm a woman. I had respiratory issues. In fact, with respiratory issues, women over men, respiratory versus non-respiratory, 31% more common in patients that had respiratory issues, 42% common, more women than men. And then with hypertension, which doesn't apply to me, but in patients with hypertension, they're 40% more likely to get it versus only 23% of men. So it's leaning heavily towards women with respiratory symptoms, et cetera. But the good news is that it's transitory. When it's falling out, it doesn't feel like it's ever going to end. So if you have patients that are women that are dealing with hair loss, I can tell you firsthand, it's very emotional. Can't tell you how many days I cried over my hair loss, and I literally looked bald, and I don't right now, but that's why I had a wig. And my wig, her name's Gidget. She's sitting right here on my desk, and I hope never have to put her on again, because I wore her way too long, and she's done, baby. This is the new me. But you need to know that let your patients know that hair will grow back in 3 to 6 months after it falls out. Usually for me, it fell out for 3.5 months, and I lost 80% of my hair. It was thin. I did not look like a human. I couldn't style it. I couldn't do anything. I could cut it. I thought about shaving it. I looked like a chemo patient. And then it stopped. It kind of rested. I didn't grow any new hair. Nothing happened for about a month. And then all of a sudden I started to notice little tiny hairs that were starting to grow. And then the texture of my hair completely changed. And now it does feel like that kind of hair, that chemo type hair. It's like coarse kind of Brillo pad, and mine came back curly. I don't know if the curl's going to stay or not. You guys are going to get to watch the progress as it goes. But nonetheless, encourage your patients. It is short term. It will come back. It can take 3 to 6 months after it starts falling out for it to begin to grow back. So it does grow back, I promise. So remember that TE, or telogen effluvium, is a very common occurrence in these post-COVID patients. They could be long haul patients or not long haul patients. I'm not a long hauler, but I did get the severe hair loss, and it's hard. It's an emotionally very hard thing. It's been difficult, but I'm really happy that Gidget is in her corner of my desk. And I look at her every day, and I'm so thankful that she served a purpose for me, but I'm really thankful that my hair grew back, because I really want my hair to be my hair. That's all. And your patients want the same thing. So encourage them, let them know that it will fall out. It may fall out for a little while. You certainly can provide support for hair, like vitamin B6, flaxseed oil, good nutrients, make sure digestion's working, protein, all the things that would facilitate good hair growth. You can certainly do all those things, but listen, when that hair is in that resting phase and it's falling out, there is not one thing you can do to stop it. That's the thing we got to know. You can't stop it. Once that happens, you got to let it go. And it lasted 3.5 months for me. And it was tumultuous and emotionally very difficult. But once it stops, once I started to see less hair in the shower and less hair on my clothes and less hair on the seat of my car, and when I started to notice I had less hair, I thought, okay, maybe we're at the end of this. And it took about a month, and then it started to grow back. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm here to talk about it. So that's a deal. There is some correlation with androgens and where you are. It is actually more common in menopausal women even than just women in general, of which I am that too. So I think I was a slam dunk for hair loss, in my opinion, but that's okay. It's back, it's curly, and it's my sassy self. So other than my hoarse voice, no more Gidget. Can we get an amen to that? Yeah. All right. See you guys next week.